you just kick off whenever you're ready, Jack.
Sounds good. Hi guys, we're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to join, and then we will kick it off. All right, guys, we're just going to give everybody another minute or so to join, and then we will start the presentation. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Jack McGreal, Director of Business Development here at Rival. Today, we're going to walk through some of the newest enhancements to the Rival One OEMS. Rival's built on market maker DNA with speed and stability at its core. Rival provides a flexible multi-asset execution environment while maintaining a familiar look and feel on its trading interface. In this session, we're going to focus on 3 new tools to streamline your order workflow, giving you better control over your execution. We're going to look at the new custom order routing parameters, followed by the order uploader, and last, the allocation tool. Today, driving the demo is my colleague, Bernie Schwartz. He's the head of product here at Rival. Bernie's going to walk through each feature, show you how they fit directly into your daily trading workflow. We'll also have time for Q&A at the end. In the meantime, you could drop any questions into the chat, and we will address those as we go. And with that, I will hand it over to you, Bernie, and you should be able to drive. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for the intro. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I know that it's been kind of a volatile week or two here, so I appreciate your time today. Certainly, if you do drop off at any point, this session is being recorded and transcribed. Recording and transcription will be available to everybody once the presentation is finished. And if you have colleagues perhaps who were not able to attend this session, we'll be able to share that recording with them as well. So with that, I'll jump right in. Jack made mention in his introduction that Rival One is what we pride ourselves on, being a multi-asset solution. And a lot of the work that we have been doing recently is to enhance, build out our capabilities for equity execution, equity management. For those of you who do trade, we obviously have a very robust suite of features to handle futures and options. There is a lot of literature online in our documentation. I'm going to give you a look at our docs as well. And there are some other webinars where we've gone over features specific to other asset classes that we'd be more than happy to share with you. And please do drop any questions into the Q&A section. We'll address them as they come in, or perhaps wait until the end and see if there's any duplicate questions and try and knock them all out there. Your mics are muted, so please, any questions, any comments, throw them in the chat there. What you're looking at on my screen is a sample workspace that an equities trader might use. So I've got a couple of depth tickets you can see up here. One where I'm looking at Amazon, one at NVIDIA. Linked to each of those tickets is our time, as we call it a ticker, is time and sales for each of those contracts. I use the word linked there. This feature is probably familiar to you on most of the platforms you've used, but I've got this Amazon depth ticket linked to my Amazon time and sales, but updating the stock there, because they are linked, will update that time and sales window as well. So there's Palantir, since we're probably a lot of you are looking at defense stocks this week. Similarly, you can do the same thing from the Hot Watch. Hot Watch is sort of our market grid, our home base, where you can add any symbols in there. Because I have that Hot Watch linked as well, if I select Amazon from the Hot Watch, that depth ticket that I linked is going to go back to show me the Amazon market, and the time and sales will update as well. So the linking can be very powerful. There's there's a couple of videos on our website, the documentation about how to make best use of linking. Be used for option chain, order book, trade book, any component that we have. So I won't spend a whole lot of time there. Rather, I'm going to focus on the few features that Jack mentioned in his introduction, starting with routes for equities. So we connect to a handful of, actually several executing brokers. Anytime we do partner with an executing broker, we do certify for all of their algos or routes, as you might call them. We list them as routes, but you'll see for any equity instrument in the depth ticket, you have the ability to select routes. Now, these are, in fact, certified broker routes. We have obfuscated the name for the purposes of demonstration. So this RomRex is our internal routing. We won't show the broker names here, but certainly if you're curious about who we support and what kind of routes they have available to you, Jack is your guy. He knows all the ins and outs of various brokers and their advantages. What I want to show here is that selecting a route will allow you to update all the parameters for that route. So, for example, if I wanted to trade a TWAP, and we're just going to call this broker R. Clicking on this route detail button is going to show you all available inputs for the selected route. So this is for this TWAP from broker R. All of these parameters can be populated. In this example, these are all optional. I'm going to show you one in a second that has a required field, so you get an idea of what that looks like. But these can all be managed from the depth ticket. Similarly, if you don't like execution from the depth ticket and you'd rather do it from the Hot Watch, from the market grid, clicking on a bid or an offer to bring up an order ticket will also give you access to the same list of routes for which you are permissioned. I mentioned required fields. There's one in here that I know does have a required field, is POV algo. So if I select that, whether it's from the depth ticket or from the order ticket there, you'll see that required field is highlighted in red with the asterisk. So this field must be populated, or else the order will get rejected. All of those parameters are retained. So if I go back to my POV from here, it will take my last entry, but you can always update on the fly, of course. All right, let's talk about order upload. Actually, let me submit a couple orders here, just to get an idea of what that looks like in our order book and in our trade book. So in NVIDIA here, I'm just going to select a price 52, and I'll go to buy 100 of those, so we can see I got filled. That's probably good. Put one in below the market. So you will be able to see your order working in the depth ticket. You can modify it directly from here, although it can be a little jumpy. But you can certainly modify the order, or you can cancel directly from the depth ticket using that X. With the modification being a little more difficult within the depth ticket, I'll point out that you can modify price and quantity from the order book as well. So in the lower left corner, this is my order book. Here's my 100 lot of NVIDIA working. I can modify the price, take that up to 185.25 perhaps, and save that. And I'm now working to buy 100, 185.25. And I can cancel from the depth ticket here or from the order book itself. You've always got this kind of global panic cancel all button available in the order book. which will cancel all of your orders. To upload orders from this order book, if we go into our component menu, each of our components has this little ellipsis menu here as component menu. It'll give you all the choices, all the actions that you can perform from that particular widget or component. So if I choose upload orders from file, any CSV, any Excel doc can be used for this. We are going to take a look in a moment at the CSV itself, so I can show you what it looks like and what values you will be entering. But I'm going to take this demo one that I've been using to test here and upload all orders from there. So so we'll see a couple of things happen when I select the file. Number one, a new tab is created automatically in your order book that will show all of these staged orders. When you upload orders, they are not sent immediately. They are staged for you to decide when you want to send them. By default, they are all selected. So if I were to click send orders here, it would send every order that I had in that CSV. But of course, you can make individual selections and send only the orders that you care to do at a time. These are subject, of course, to any throttles that are in place with your broker, with the exchange. So I would be cautious when uploading a big group of orders. But we are going to put in safeguards to ensure that you don't hit your throttles. We can control some of that internally. So all of these that are selected can now be sent. Let's send. I'm going to choose in this case to just send my ES orders from that sheet. Before I do that, let's take a look at that upload doc. I wanted to give an example of what you're going to be looking at. So in our CSV, we are going to, of course, require the account that you want these orders sent to. Symbol, of course, that's going to conform to our symbol. I know that the symbology can be difficult across different platforms. Rule of thumb here is whatever you see on the screen is the format that we want to use in each of these fields. So ESM6 as opposed to E-mini June 2026, that won't work. We will reject, and I'll give you an example of a rejection in the case that you have an erroneous entry in your upload file. Side quantity price, of course, and then your order type and your TIF. The same thing with the order types and TIFs. What you see on the screen is what is acceptable in the file. So these abbreviations that are in our drop-down here for market, limit, market on close, etc., as well as the times in force, GTC, IOC, those can all be used. But in addition, the long names can be used. So you might see in that file, I have an example with an abbreviation, an example with the long name. But in our ladder, you can see how what we use for the long names here: good, till, cancel, immediate, or cancel. Spelling matters here. Case is not case sensitive, so uppercase, lowercase doesn't matter. Spaces don't matter either. But I've seen some of our testers use TIL for till, and that won't be accepted. I'll show you what that looks like if you do make a mistake like that in your file. So, for example, here I'm going to make a change that I know is going to be rejected. I have in my account, I've got these all going into either my support 01 or support 02 account. If I have a typo in here, say I make this, I got some extra P's, for example, and I save that. If I now attempt to upload orders from that same file, that one line is going to get rejected, but we have gone to great lengths to make sure that the error message that you see directs you exactly to where the mistake is and allows you to amend it. So in this case, found an error. This is in row 11, so you know exactly where to look in your CSV. Support 01 with these extra P's, not found in your user accounts. So we are validating that you have access to all the accounts that are listed in that order upload file. So in the case that perhaps you're on a desk and one user has access to account ABC and another does not, the front end knows that and will reject the upload for any accounts for which you are not permissioned. Fix these errors and try again. So if I go back into my CSV here, let's fix that goofy misspelling. Make sure that's port 01. And as long as that is saved, then the next time I go to upload, that should work just fine. Let's try that again. Upload orders. Now, note that I have uploaded orders in here staged. If I upload again, it will not recognize these as duplicates. Rather, it is going to give me another batch of orders that are staged that can be sent. So there is some possibility for duplication in here. Obviously, we recommend caution when performing this action. You always have the ability to deselect orders that you don't want to send or delete. These are not technically cancelable orders since they're not working. But if you do want to remove any of these from your list to send, you can delete straight from here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send all my orders that contain ESM6. So once I send them, they are removed from my stage tab. Only the one that I did not select is still displayed in my stage tab. But I can see now in my order tab, I've got a handful of fills there. These were through the market. I don't think I have anything open. I think everything I had in there was through the market. But these tabs can be created using your filters here. So, for example, status open in this case, all orders here, and then of course our staged orders. So I can now send this Amazon option, or if I want separately, they do not need to all be sent at once. But if I send that, let's see what our rejection is here. This is always good. Exceeded max position. Okay, this is a good demonstration. So in this case, I've got some limits set, and this order would have caused me to exceed my max position. So the error here will tell you exactly what the limit is that you are violating. Quantity here was 935, and my limit is 5, order quantity of 5. So anytime you do get an error, we try as best we can to display details on that error so that you can correct it yourself, or in the case that you do need help from our support desk, who are really the best in the business, reporting that error to them is going to help expedite that investigation. Now that I've got some fills here on those orders that I uploaded, let's take a look at our allocation tool. The order upload functionality that I just showed is not yet available in production. It will be released within the next week. Everything else that you see today is available right now in production, including this allocation tool that we're going to walk through. So allocations are done on executed orders. These are post-trade allocations. So any allocations are done from the trade book rather than the order book. You can select orders, select trades or fills that you want to be allocated. Same mechanism to select or deselect. The nice thing here with the allocations is we do have this ability to select all or deselect all. Let's start by allocating these ES futures that I traded, and then we'll do an example with equities and maybe with options. So all of these ES trades I uploaded to be executed to my support 01 account. That's reflected here in my trade book. So I've got 4 trades here that I want to allocate. Click my allocate tool. It's going to launch our dialog. The total trades added up to 17 ES June futures. My average price is 01.7353, consisting of 4 trades. So I can now choose the accounts into which I wish to allocate these executions, call these destination accounts. So all of these positions are in my support 01 account right now. I'm going to allocate to my other two test support accounts, support 02, support 03. Now I've got a couple of options here as to how to allocate those. Equal will simply get, it will be the number of contracts. Percentage, of course, is pretty self-explanatory. You can determine the percentage to allocate. I will point out here that we are validating to make sure that you are allocating 100% of the trades that you have selected. So, you know, in the simplest scenario, of course, 50%, 50%, sure, that's fine. Or maybe you want a 60-40 split. That's certainly supported. But if you get to a point where if I have 30 and 60, you'll get this little error here. Total percentage has to equal 100. We only have 90% here. Custom will allow you to define the quantity to be allocated to each account. I think in most cases, most users will use equal or will use amount. And I'll get to amount in a minute when we get to equities and options. But let's say we're just doing this equally, and then we've got a couple of selections on rounding methods. So round nearest, you might also think of as round normal. 0.5 contracts or higher, we'll place one full contract in there. Anything below 0.5, we'll round down. As it iterates, as the allocation tool iterates through the destination accounts, it will take that rounding into consideration. Any remaining quantity. This is a nice little notice to show as well. You may get this as you're using Rival 1. This indicates that a new version has been made available to you. So if you know that there's a feature release coming and you see this kind of notification, a restart will restart your client with the newest version. But of course, if you're in the middle of something, you want to dismiss that, that's fine. Let's put that away for now. Just wanted to give an idea of what that would look like. So again, we're going to allocate these 4 trades into support 02, support 03. Let's do it with an equal percentage. And like I said, since we're rounding nearest, we've got 17 lots total. That would have put 8.5 lots in support 02. Since we are rounding nearest, we round that normally to 9 lots, leaving 8 as a remainder to be placed into support 03. Importantly, all of this that I am talking through now, the allocation methods, the rounding methods, the entire allocation process is detailed in our documentation. So in the corner of each component, you'll see this little question mark that'll lead you to our help. So clicking on that is going to take you directly to the article about trade allocations. That is the case for any of these components that you see here. So if I cancel this, and let me just see, I want to take a look at the Hot Watch documentation. That is always available to you. These documents are public facing, whether you are a Rival 1 user or not. These are available to you now at docs.rivalsystems.com. So if anybody is curious about what's available now and other features that I'm not talking about here, we certainly invite you to take a look here. There are, in addition to the articles, there are several, there's some how-to articles. How do I view market data? How do I monitor positions? And there are a handful of short videos for each of these components as well, which have proven very, very useful. Going back to the allocation tool, now that I've interrupted myself a couple of times, let's do this once more. I'm going to allocate in support 02, support 03. I'll use equal allocation method, round nearest, and I will go ahead and allocate. Once I do, we are using what we call manual trades to perform this allocation. So you will see in this case, you'll see one manual trade that will back out the quantity from the originating account, which in this case was support 01. So we can see that in support 01 and in the trade ID, we give you a little bit of help there. We say, well, this is a back out trade. So we're removing those 17 lots from account number 1, and then we have 2 manual trades dropping a 9 lot and an 8 lot into support 02 and support 03. These once you have allocated, you do have the ability to unwind. I am showing this bit, and I call this out in docs quite a bit. We recommend using extreme caution when doing this. So I can delete these manual trades. Just keep in mind that if you delete some and not all, you may wind up with sort of a double allocation. So this is there for users in case a mistake was made. If you do delete manual trades, we do leave a record in there. We do strike through, but we leave those trades in your trade book so you have an idea of what has occurred and what you have unwound. So now that I've done that, if I wanted to then reallocate those trades, those 4 trades that I did, so now I've unwound everything. And if I decide, no, it's not, I don't want support 1, I don't want 2 and 3. Instead, I want this numerical account and support 03. I can now reallocate those trades in the same manner. So again, you'll see this back out trade from the parent account, and then the inject trades into the destination accounts. I mentioned doing a similar process using amount, which is most commonly used for equities and options, which have a true dollar value. We will not allow amount for futures, but if I'm allocating equities, like in this earlier today, I bought a few hundred lots in NVIDIA. Let's allocate those trades and let's use amount. So I've selected my 4 NVIDIA trades and I'm going to allocate those. And now if I use amount, this is going to specify, once I select my accounts, this is going to allow you to specify the dollar value that you want split into each account. Again, we do validate that the dollar value, your total dollar value you want to allocate must equal the total dollar value of the originating trades at 400 lot there. So if and now I've got to put my glasses on to see the numbers well enough. So if I have, for example, $40,000 in support 02, I can do 34,587, and that will allow me to allocate. If I have if I do not get to 100% of my total quantity, if I make this 86 instead, you'll still get this error, must equal original trade amount. But we do have the formula on the back end to then allow us to split these into your desired dollar amounts. And then we can see again our manual trades hooks in our trade book. See our manual trades. We've got our back out from our originating account and then the injections into our destination accounts. We, of course, will calculate the quantity that corresponds to your selected dollar figure.
Nice. Thanks, Bernie.
Pleasure.
Just a quick recap for you guys. Some of the new features we went through, the custom order routing parameters, giving you guys better control over custom routing. And that's going to depend on your broker. So any broker that you're with, we can certify with, and then you'll have access to all of those algos or routes and all the customization that we showed you. We've got the order uploader, making that more efficient for basket order entry, and the allocation tool, obviously very useful for managers running separately managed accounts or traders managing various strategies. Overall, the idea is just to give you more flexibility and smooth out your workflow. But before we wrap it up, let's see if we have any questions in the Q&A.
Yeah, I don't see anything posted, but I do want, and this is, I know this can be helpful. Like I said, this can be recorded and distributed. But if there are, if you want to talk through any of these features or any other features with myself, with Jack, we are most certainly available to you anytime. We love doing demos. We love explaining new stuff that we're building. So please do not hesitate to reach out to either one of us with questions in the future on any of these features or anything else that Rival One is capable of.
Yeah, and one question we often get is if there's the ability to enter orders in terms of vol instead of dollar amount or price. Could you show the vol order entry?
Yeah, I mentioned when we started that, multi-asset, we do have some very robust option support. And our options, we do have a couple of hosted algos. One of those is what we like to call the vol algo. So I'm looking at option chain here, and we do have a webinar on our full suite of options capabilities, which we invite you to view and ask us questions about. what Jack's referring to here is if I want to trade this crude 78 put, our calculated implied vol is 150. Is that really where crude vol is right now?
Yeah.
Is there something going on in the Middle East that I should know about? That's some serious vol. So we are calculating a 150 implied vol, but what Jack likes to show is that you do. So of course, by default, you would enter an order in price terms. But if I want to buy this put using, for example, a 149 vol, I can enter that. Our algo will reprice the option in premium terms to match any moves in the underlying in order to maintain that 149 vol level. So it's an algo that's working on our servers, and that's been very popular with users. There are a handful of more option-specific algos that are available. Again, would love the opportunity to walk through those with anybody who is interested, or please view our documentation. Once again, clicking if you are a Rival One user, clicking on that little help will take you exactly where you want to be. And again, those docs are public facing, so if you are not yet a Rival One user, you should feel free to explore them anyway.
Great. Well, thanks again for joining us today. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or want a deeper dive into any of the functionality. Happy to show you a personalized demo. Bernie, thanks for your time. And
thanks, everybody.
Wrap it up.
Take care.
Bye-bye.